Hey, what's up, guys? Ricky here. I just got back from my walk. I figured, get my selfie stick out and just take a nice little video here. Discuss about a couple of things I've been thinking on my mind, and hopefully my brain and my crazy brain could help you out in some way possible. As I'm getting older, I'm starting to basically relax a lot more. Not to the point of like I just want to take naps and stuff like that, but to the point of like I'm so done living in a rush. I'm so done living for the next person's obligations. All right? For so long, I just took care of everybody else but myself. Yeah, I took care of my health. Yeah, I went to the gym. Yeah, I studied. Yeah, I built big business. Yeah, I've spoken on thousands of webinars. I've traveled. Been through a lot. Okay, but like that all came to like a head and burst like a big ass pimple, right? And I'm sitting here now in my new place, just relaxing. I figured I'd make this video here, and I want to talk about, what is your wants, what is your desires, what is your needs, what is your goals, what's your aspirations, what do you want? All right, and I'm gonna tie this into manifestation and things you may have learned about the law of attraction, things you may have learned about the secret. Okay, that's how I was first. I was first engulfed into the law of attraction was through the secret back in like 2012, 2013, whenever it came out, and then it led me to hardcore mental toughness programs like the Hard 75 and David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me book, and then it led me into the Miracle Morning Millionaires, which basically was the Miracle Morning book about the 5 a.m. club and using savers to save your life. And then it led me into this guy named Elmar Olaka Jr., okay, who basically, that was his grandfather. His name is David, and he runs a YouTube channel on manifestation, and it's more or less about Neville Goddard's teachers. That took me down the rabbit hole with Neville Goddard. Then it brought me into what's the name? Abraham Hicks, whatever the name is. I think it's Abraham Hicks, and other different areas like the Hermetes Code, and then it brought me into secret books, and I just started really diving deep down this rabbit hole. And once you see it, you really can't unsee it. And I've been manifested once in my life. I definitely did. I have them come into fruition. I strengthened my intuition too as well. I surprise myself sometimes where I feel like I'm a little bit psychic when I know things are happening before they happen, and that's happened to me a lot of times. And the more I study this, the more I realize that we are actually living in a simulation, a fucking video game, really. It's real life. There's real pain. There's real drama. There's real emotion. There's real death. There's real everything else. So this ain't a video game. But at the end of the day, you are the main player. You control. You have the joystick in your hands, and you're the main character in your movie. And you decide if you want to fail, if you want to exceed. You decide if you're gonna one up to the next level. You decide when is the right time to fight the boss at the end. You decide this. And the more I study these kind of things, the more deeper it gets, and the more I see, and the more I manifest a lot quicker than I used to. And you may have been told some things about the secret and the law of attraction, how you can basically robotically affirm your affirmations, or by affirmations you can get what you want. All right, while some of that's true, a lot of it is not at all. And then if you study Neville Goddard, which I suggest you study him, he is an icon in basically early thought leaders of teaching ancient rules and scripture and bringing it to normal people in LA and changing their lives and the way that they think. He came out with something called the ladder exercise. And what the ladder exercise is, it's basically something that you would just go to sleep in and vision yourself climbing a ladder. And like before you go to sleep, they call it SATS, SATS, the state akin to sleep. That's the most powerful time where you can manifest your desires, because your subconscious is very attentive to reprogramming. And basically, he wanted to tell people that, not trick people, but show people this is real by giving them a very easy exercise. And the exercise is basically, as you go to sleep, you picture yourself climbing a ladder, but you don't do it fast. You like picture your hands on the rails, you picture your feet on the stairs, and you're lifting yourself up. You feel the movement of you actually climbing a ladder, and you fall asleep into that thought or that vision of you climbing that ladder, and you do it for a couple of days straight. A lot of people ended up climbing a ladder after 3 days, where they haven't climbed the ladder, whether it be years, okay, and they ended up seeing a ladder and climbing a ladder somehow, some way. And you could do this with small things to show glitches in this matrix. You want to call it a matrix or whatever, or a simulation. You can do it with objects. You can do it with small things. All right. Anytime you want to manifest something big, like you want to manifest like your dream house, your dream relationship, your your supercar, or like manifest big stacks of money. Excuse me. It is possible. Okay. I actually manifested the place I'm living in right now, and I'll tell you how I did it. I created a little scene in my brain of me walking in this house, this door, and people smiling, and there's a lease on the table, and I ended up signing the lease. And I fell asleep in it every night for nights straight. And you know what's crazy is that we were supposed to get a house that was a couple of houses down, the same exact house, but it didn't have a backyard like this one has, and we ended up finding another owner on the same block. All right, another owner, not the one that owned the house down the block, that was having this house for rent. At the same time, we were trying to get out. We were having problems finding a place, and I manifested this, and it literally just came to fruition. And I was packing up and moving into this place in October. And I believe it's because I went to sleep every single night in the SATS, state of kind sleep, and I believed I'm getting this new place. Like, I believed it. So let me tell you something, how it really, really works. You got to detach. Number one, the law of detachment is very, very real. The more you stay on one particular subject, the more you stay on one subject, the more, you want something so bad. You want it, you want it, you want it. But when you want something bad and you say, I need it, I need it, I need it, you are basically telling the universe that you don't have it, and you're still lacking that. So the universe is never going to give it to you, because you want it so bad. That means you really don't have it. So how do you fix that? And it plays into doubt, a lot of doubt in your brain too as well, okay? Okay, say you're trying to manifest big money, but you keep on looking at your bank account and you're broke. Say you manifest telling yourself that, I am a multimillionaire and I have hundreds of thousands in my bank account and I'm living the best life I could possibly live. And you say that over and over and over to yourself in an affirmation in the morning, in the afternoon, and then you go to sleep in it, all right? If you don't believe it and you don't feel it, then that will never come to fruition. But when you're manifesting bigger things, like big stacks of money, or like a boat, or like a big house, or your dream house, or a dream relationship, it's not like the ladder exercise. It plays into it, but it's not like it, okay? Your brain doesn't have any kind of blockages when it comes to thinking about climbing a ladder. Like, it's a simple task, all right? It's not that hard to climb a ladder, right? Especially if you're physically capable of doing it. But if you put the blockage in your brain that making $100,000 or $1 million is very hard, and you were taught that and you believe that, then no matter what you do, affirmation-wise, no matter what you do and go to sleep in it, you're always gonna block it. You're gonna block that from happening, and it's just facts. That's the way it works. So there's tricks and techniques to help you get around that, because I was listening to a video today and he explained it really, really good. To get out of that, think of, like, say you go look at your bank account and you only have like a couple of $1,000s in there, right? And you're like, I'm broke, right? But in your brain, you know you're a millionaire. You know your software is working out. You know you're helping thousands of people. You know that breakthrough is right there. But you keep on going at your bank account and looking at it and like you're looking for a change. Well, that's a big problem, because you looking for that change is telling the universe, or telling, the reality, that they're mirror back to you, that you don't have it and you're not going to have it. So how do you fix that? You got to look at things as their echoes, okay, of a past version. So this account balance is temporary. It's a past version of how I used to think. It's not a version of how I think now. And if you're watching this video right now, guys, okay, you are doing something correct and you're manifesting something in your life. I can tell you that, because this has happened to me, where I get specific videos at the specific right times that come into my feeds somehow, some way, somehow. I never subscribed to them, or if I did, like, it's just a perfect video, perfect timing. And some people will call it like coincidence, all right, or maybe that was it was an accident. I don't believe in coincidence, all right. I believe that if you are on that frequency and you really are determined to do whatever it is that you desire, and you're living in it and you feel it, you live it, you breathe it, then guess what? You're going to get it, as long as you practice the law of detachment and you detach from not having it. You have to detach from not having it. And it comes to discipline of your current moment awareness. It comes to discipline of just straight discipline, right? That you are gonna stay focused. And you know what? If it's something big like $1 million or $100 million, right? Something big. It's not gonna just be like Aladdin's gonna come on a red carpet and just fly to you and just be like, all right, let me drop off this big ass cash stack over here. It doesn't work like that. But what's gonna happen is your brain is going to automatically do the things that you need to do to achieve that desire, because you're living in that state. You believe you already have it. You act like you have it. You breathe like you have it. You talk like you have it. You are happy like you have it. You are feeling relieved, if it has to do, say, financial or whatever it is, that it's already done. It's already completed. So that your brain now is taking the actions to give this to you. I mean, so your brain is leading you to take the actions to get it to you. All right, so maybe that's an opportunity that knocks that you may have, in your other version of lack, you may have ignored because you were depressed, you didn't want to get on that phone call. Or you were like just mad at life. There's many times I'd be scrolling through things in my email, or I duck phone calls because like I'm just in a really pissed off, bad vibration, and everything sucks and stuff like that. I've been in that before, okay? And like, once you start to understand how this really works, because you are a mirror of your own reality. So whatever you put out to the universe comes back to you. We are ourselves pushed out. Then basically, the more that you can control your focus and your attention and not be distracted. All right, so here's an example, okay? You're stressed out because you have some bills, heavy bills just popped up, and you don't know how you're gonna pay them. Maybe the money allocated right now is to support the business, and these unneeded bills just popped up. Maybe your car broke down, or maybe something happened with your kids, or just something happened, okay? And you're like, oh, fuck, right? So basically now you start to live in lack, you start to think, and you start to get depressed, and you start to get in a bad mood. And, but you're like, wait, no, I can handle it. I'm a multimillionaire. I got the money, right? And then now you feel like you're lying to yourself because you don't, and blah, 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 blah. So you start doubting and doubting and doubting. And no matter what kind of techniques you follow, whether it be from, they taught you in The Secret, they taught you, the Neville Goddard taught you, or, manifestation experts on YouTube taught you, or whatever, okay? no matter what you follow. It's not going to change that, because down deep inside you are vibrating on that frequency. See, the subconscious mind, okay, does not understand your words. Okay, we speak a different language to the subconscious mind. What your subconscious understands is the same thing that makes you react for fight or flight mode. Okay, when you're about to get into a fight or something bad, or if you're happy about something. Okay, like basically that feeling, that emotion is what controls your subconscious. Your subconscious leads you with those emotions. So you need to feed your subconscious these emotions. So if you go to sleep at night and you just say the same thing over and over, I am a multimillionaire, I am a multimillionaire, I am, but you don't feel it, okay? You don't believe it, then that feeling will never land. That feeling will never land, and it will never come into fruition for you, all right? Because you're gonna continue to live that same version of yourself over and over and over. And I teach people this, I talk to them, and I try to wake people up about this. And sometimes it's like I'm speaking Chinese to certain people, but that's okay. They're just not ready to hear this. They just don't understand it yet. And I'll point them in the right direction and tell them this is what they got to do. This is what you need to listen to and understand this on a really, really deep level. And I just want to say that this is how it really works. Like, I have tested this. I have proven this. It doesn't matter if you believe me, okay? I just know. It's a knowing, all right? I don't need you to believe me, all right? So the bottom line is I'm just giving this as just dropping some knowledge on you. And I'm gonna be training more on topics like this, and I'll tie it into business and how you can take action really fast and get the desired results you want, all right? And I made this channel for that, okay? Power with Ricky on YouTube. And it wraps around my power principle. So P is for productivity, O is for optimization, W is for wealth, and E is for exercise, and R is for rest. I taught that, and I have a handbook that'll bring you through those steps and really land that for you. And this all ties together, okay? It's helped a lot of people. It's helped a lot of people, including myself. I went back into my power principle when I needed it the most, when I was very depressed and things were not working out. I looked at what I did for hundreds of people, and I just said, whoa, why am I not following my own damn principle? So I'm gonna link that, it'll be in my description somewhere or whatever like that. But I've done big business. I have made multiple millions of dollars. I have lost millions of dollars. I have been through the mills. I have been through jail systems. I've almost died twice. I basically, I have stripes. I'm a soldier. I have stripes. But the more and more that I think about that type of stuff, the more and more I start to understand why that happened to me. When I think about these techniques and I think about the way that reality actually works, the more and more it makes sense that I brought that on myself. I did that to myself, okay? Like, you may say to yourself, well, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this. And I can look at you and say, yeah, you do. And you may be like, Ricky, what do you mean? I don't deserve this. And I'm like, yeah, what? You do. And you may not understand it, but you deserve exactly what you're doing to yourself. I listened to a video from this dude who learned from a monk, and the monk told him misery is created from within. So how do you stop that from happening? First, you awaken yourself to your current moment. You start to pay attention and give more focus to your awareness, your breathing, your stillness, the feeling, everything else. You be aware that you're alive and breathing. You really focus on that. Ties into meditation, right? You have the belief that you are the best version of yourself, that you are rich, you are beautiful. You can do whatever you want. You are limitless. And I wish I would have learned this when I was younger. I try to teach this to Isabella. I try to teach this to other people, and hopefully it sticks. But you really got to pay attention to your reactions, because your reactions is the thing that screws you in the end. If you would have took that 5 minutes, or no, not even 15 seconds, 5 seconds before you reacted, maybe the whole situation would have been something different. But it wasn't, because you were in a bad mood and you reacted immediately, and it brought even more drama to you. And maybe that was the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay, and that just ignited a fire that you couldn't escape. I know I've been in those situations. So as I get older, I start to think about this more, and I start to like really look at my reactions and start to really not be distracted anymore. Like, I don't like social media. Yes, I advertise on it. Yes, I use it for community. Yes, I use it to make videos like this. But at the end of the day, do I really like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling? No, I don't do that. You know, I'd rather create content like this. I'd rather listen to experts that speak about this. I'd rather work on my awareness. I'd rather work on my reactions. I'd rather, you know, not be distracted to what they want me to be distracted to, because your attention is gold. And if you can control your attention, for even if you're still here watching this video right now, that's great, because now, I mean, you have the attention. So if you just focus a little bit more on your attention, a lot more on what you're attentive to, what you put your energy into, just know the energy is going to come back to you. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be pissed off about things. I'm not saying that everything's going to work out. I'm not saying that everything that you're trying to manifest will actually come into fruition, okay? It doesn't work like that. It really just depends on how strong your energy is into believing that you live in the end in your desired result. And I work on this myself, and I'm becoming a better version of myself. I feel it. I stepped into another timeline. I'm not the same person I was just even 2 years ago. I've been through a shit ton of crap in 2003. Like, I basically woke me up, all right? 2001 is when I started my kind of like awakening, right? 2002, I started studying more, and but I still didn't harness the power of understanding this to the degree I do now. In 2024, I broke me. I almost died, okay? And then 2025, I started waking up. Not waking up, but I started rebuilding and saying I'm worth it, and there's better things out there, and I can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over. It's gonna kill me. And now in 2026, I got the house built. I got the foundation built. I got the roof on. We put the electric in the house. We put the appliances in. Now we're starting to make it a home. We're getting, you know, making it all homey and comfortable to live in. And I'm not talking about this house. I'm just using that as an analogy, all right? That in 2026, I started building a house again, all right? In 2024, my house was crumbling, okay? It was being ripped from the walls. The foundation was there was multiple cracks in it. Everything was collapsing on top of it, on top of me, okay? That's how it felt. I'm sure you guys have experience with that. So look, this is not the same Ricky that you were used to, all right? I'll be real with you, okay? I'm a changed man, and I really am going to teach this to as many people that need to hear it. I'm going to tie this into making big money with software and different niches and the strategies I know. I'm going to be the best version of myself all the time. I'm going to keep on creating better versions of myself. I'm going to keep on opening doors for people and myself, and you know, be very diligent around the people that I choose to be in my circle, because you just have to, all right? Anyway, I was gonna say I love you guys. I hope that this video really touched you, and you really start to understand how manifestation really works. It's your belief. I'm gonna come through with notes and a bunch of other good stuff for you, so make this really simple, because you can do this fast. Okay, it doesn't have to be a long, drawn out thing. Simple practices in the morning, simple practices in the afternoon, simple practices at night, keeping yourself not distracted, not living in lack, not living in doubt, not living in fear and anxiety and rushing all the time. It's not worth it. Okay, all you're gonna do is keep on repeating that same hamster wheel that you're on. You don't wanna do that. All right, peace out, guys. Love y'all.